Today on Bridge City News, tensions between those opposed to the Lethbridge supervised safe consumption site and supporters of it continue to rise with a rally taking place yesterday. Andrew Scheer and Justin Trudeau continue to take shots at one another on the summer campaign trail. And Iran announced today that it will increase its uranium enrichment to an unspecified level, breaking the terms of its 2015 nuclear deal with world powers.
Your nation, your province, your southern Alberta. From the heart of Lethbridge, it's Bridge City News with Paul Arthur.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. A Lethbridge Facebook group that is concerned over the public safety surrounding Arches, the supervised safe consumption site, held a rally yesterday. Video journalist Naveen Day attended the event, which was held on the property of a neighboring business. He says the protest was peaceful, but at times tense.
Not my Lethbridge! Not my Lethbridge!
Crowds gathered outside a downtown business to voice their concerns over Arches, the supervised safe consumption and injection site which sits only meters away. They feel the site is causing the community to fall apart.
And at the center of the issue is Doug Hamilton, whose store shares an alley with the site. He stirred up controversy when he began to live stream his outdoor security camera footage to his YouTube channel, which shows images of homeless people and addicts defecating, littering, and trespassing. The Facebook group Lethbridge Needle Crisis Support Group organized the Saturday afternoon rally to show their support for Hamilton's and other businesses that are impacted.
We're here to support him. He's been here for over 70 years. He has a right to be here, and he has a right to have a safe property without having people doing drugs on it, peeing on it, pooping on it, having sex out front. He's had thousands of dollars worth of damages done to his building, and that's not okay.
Angus says businesses in the area were not properly informed and were under the impression that the site would provide a needle exchange program. Director of Programs for Arches, Megan Williamson, says exchanging needles is not effective.
It's not a recognized best practice. It's been proven to not be effective in reducing transmission rates of HIV and hepatitis C. To counter that, we've put in a lot of mitigation strategies, and over the last year we've increased our return rates by 83% and we've decreased distribution by 70%.
Hamilton and Arches have agreed to meet and discuss their concerns with each other. In the meantime, troubled citizens continue to do what it takes to protect their children.
We've had several kids, young kids, one as young as 2 years old, be pricked by somebody's used needle.
The first step is to keep people alive, and we know what it is when we don't keep people alive. I say dead people don't recover. Danny will never recover.
For Bridge City News, I'm Naveen Day.
Construction on the downtown Lethbridge Park and Ride Transit Terminal is nearing completion, but as of tomorrow, the intersection of 5th Avenue and 8th Street will be closed for the next couple of weeks. Access to the library will still be available from Stafford Drive. The transit terminal will open in early September, adding another 293 parking stalls to the downtown core. Southern Alberta's Writing on Stone Provincial Park has become the province's 6th World Heritage Site and the 20th in Canada. UNESCO made the designation at its annual meeting in Azerbaijan yesterday. It follows more than a decade of advocacy by Indigenous groups and the provincial government. The site contains thousands of rock carvings and paintings, including some that chronicle historical events such as Indigenous peoples' first contact with Europeans. Some residents of the town of Grand Forks in BC's southern interior say they were rattled to learn the property buyouts they've been waiting for in the aftermath of devastating flooding last year will be based on post-disaster values. They say they understood that their homes would be valued as they were before the damage. The city agrees with them, but the funding comes from the provincial and federal governments. A neighborhood meeting is planned to see if there is any recourse. Much of northwestern Ontario and eastern Manitoba remain under an air quality alert today due to a massive forest fire that's still growing near Ontario's Key-Waywin First Nation. Fire crews are trying to limit the spread of the blaze, which is now about 720 square kilometers in size and is blazing 8 kilometers south of the remote Indigenous community. Its roughly 450 residents have been already evacuated by air to Sioux Lookout in Timmins as a precaution. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau urged Canadians to vote Liberal in this year's federal election. At events in the Greater Toronto Area yesterday, Trudeau spoke at a union event at Toronto's Downsview Park and a convention for the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Mississauga.
When our party created the Charter of Rights and Freedoms almost 40 years ago, it was because we knew that those vital rights and freedoms must never be called into question. Well, today, that's something we have to keep defending, because there are leaders who think some people are less Canadian than others and who would use Islamophobia once again at the ballot box.
Meanwhile, federal Conservative leader Andrew Scheer says he's not taking it for granted that shutting the Liberals out of Calgary will be a cakewalk in this fall's federal election. Scheer made the rounds on the Calgary Stampede circuit yesterday, hammering Trudeau on the energy industry.
Along comes the bills like C-69, the No More Pipelines bill. Bill C-48, the anti-oil shipping ban, crippling the industry that drives this province. That's why he travels the world and tells international audiences that he can't shut down the oil sands fast enough while energy companies here in Alberta downsize, or even worse, go out of business. Well, I'm here to tell you, to tell Calgary, to tell Alberta, you deserve better. You will get better come this October.
Justin Trudeau's office says the Prime Minister will also be making an appearance at the Stampede this year. California's governor says the two major earthquakes that hit the southern part of his state last week show that the governments across America should be strengthening alert systems and building codes. Gavin Newsom also wants residents to make sure they know how to protect themselves. He estimates the 6.4 and 7.1 quakes caused more than $100 million in economic damage.
There's no doubt in my mind, after talking with the president, he's committed in the long haul, in the long run, to help support the rebuilding efforts. We are as a state as well. And so I'm here in that spirit of gratitude, spirit of respect for the leadership assembled behind me, to the first responders, many of them that are getting their first hot meal. Many of them haven't seen their kids. We all have an opportunity now to get more prepared, to be more vigilant, to look at our building codes, look at our home hardening, to look at that alert system, and I'm happy to answer any questions about what the state will be doing and has been doing. We all, I think, have a unique role and responsibility to prepare individually to be prepared for the next earthquake of magnitude even greater than 7.1.
Meanwhile, Indonesian authorities issued a tsunami warning earlier today, but have since lifted that warning after a strong earthquake struck in the Molucca Sea. The magnitude 6.9 quake was centered 185 kilometers southeast of Manado. There were no immediate reports of major damage or casualties. However, there was some panic in the cities of Ternate and Manado, where people ran to higher ground. Iran announced today that it will increase its uranium enrichment to an unspecified level, breaking the terms of its 2015 nuclear deal with world powers, further heightening tensions between Tehran and the U.S. John Gambrell has the story.
Now, this is the second thing that Iran has broken away from that's part of the nuclear deal that it struck in 2015. The first was its stockpile limit. Iran a couple of days ago announced that it would go ahead and break the 300 kilogram limit on its stockpile of low enriched uranium. One thing that Iran was trying to stress in its conversation today with journalists was that it wants to continue to try diplomacy with Europe. Now, this is a tough sale, though, because Europe has been so far unable to offer Iran a vehicle by which to continue to sell its own crude oil on the international market. Now, that's what Iran really wants, but sanctions that the U.S. imposed after Donald Trump pulled itself from the nuclear deal a year ago, those sanctions are still in place, and it's stopping Iran from being able to sell this oil. So as of right now, we're waiting to hear exactly what level of percentage of enrichment Iran has gone to and how Europe will respond.
The British government is warning Iran to immediately stop and reverse all activities, while Israel's energy ministry says Tehran is performing nuclear blackmail against the entire world. Recapping one of our top stories this hour, tensions over the public safety surrounding Arches, the supervised safe consumption site, continue as a Lethbridge Facebook group held a rally across from the site yesterday. And a look at weekend weather. There is a 30% chance of showers this evening, along with the risk of a thunderstorm, clearing overnight and dipping down to a low of 10. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud early in the morning with a 30% chance of showers, then clearing with a sunny high of 21. Casey Diaz is a former gang member who spent hard time in prison, but later had a complete life turnaround and is now serving his community as a pastor. Hal Roberts has this compelling interview next. But first, here's a look at what's happening in and around your community.
Here's your Bridge City News community calendar. The Lethbridge Association of the Blind provides numerous activities for the blind and visually impaired in the Lethbridge area. These events include dinners with entertainment, local museum tours, and much more. For more information, call 403-942-1677 or email brownwj@shaw.ca. The 22nd annual Joel Nicholas Arnoldson Memorial Charity Golf Tournament is taking place Friday, August 16th at Paradise Canyon Golf Resort. Proceeds will go towards the Green Acres Foundation. For more information and to register, call 403-328-1155.